Welcome back to another reading and correcting with me, Kindar, the Tiger Writes, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube. And if you are looking to support me, that is on my Patreon. Today, we are doing chapter 100 of The Captain's Heart. Trainer Brelendriano Caro Tirek Fram came at him with quick strikes, and this time Jeremy blocked enough of them to get an opening as she stepped back and tried to take advantage of that gap when she regained her breath. He realized she'd planned it this way, and so wasn't winded yet, but he had her on the defensive and pushed hard until okay, this so she wasn't winded. Let's turn that into its own phrase. But he had her on the defensive and pushed hard until she ran out of endurance and miscalculated. She turned at the last moment, so his punch struck her side instead of her stomach, but it was finally contact. Good, she said, panting heavily. I shall make a warrior of you yet. I don't. He cut the protest off. It was a waste of his breath. He might not be winded, but he shouldn't waste it on someone who didn't care what he thought. She'd agreed to teach him how to fight, and his desire to be part of this wasn't relevant. And he was learning. Landing the hit proved that, over a month and of 2 hour every other day, had to amount to something. While she might not go at him as hard as she could, he quickly realized she wasn't going to give him any victories. He didn't know if she even knew how to let someone else win. She straightened. Along with getting tired faster than him, Kelsirians caught their breath quicker. It was fun when he stopped that thought before the programming noticed it. She raised her fist and smiled. Beta, a man said at the edge of the fighting mat. I was told to bring you this. He held a pair of gloves. She looked them over and offered them to Jeremy. Reluctantly, he took them. You can't expect me to fight with those. She tilted an ear. I expect you to always fight with the best tools you have access to. I'm wearing a thin shirt and pants. I'm drawing the line at getting bloody to learn how to fight. We aren't switching to clawed fighting now. This is to make sure they fit. Then we'll go over how you extend and retract the claws. We'll get back to your closed hand training after that, and you will wear them daily afterward. You expect me to wear this daily, every day? Unless you are willing to have your fingers altered to be clawed, you have to. You need to be able to change him. She wanted to change him, turn him into one of them, make him wrong. Stop. The casing is... It'll make you like what he wants, his toy, his thing to defile. He fought to retake control of his breathing as the world spun and darkened. The sounds were muffled, the form fuzzy. What? His tongue had the weight of a neutron star. Something was pressed to his lip, then cool liquid flowed over his tongue, and its weight diminished. Looks like someone forgot how to breathe. The man holding a glass of water to his lips said, something amused. The form came into focus, head, ears, muzzle, teeth. He preemptively took control of his breathing. Don't pass out again. Don't go passing out again. He shook his head and mentally built an antimatter containment chamber in time to his breathing and pushed the demand from the programming down. Then he let out a shuddering breath. Can you tell me what happened? The cream-colored medic asked. The sounds were that of people caring for others, questions answered. Panic attack, a bad one, I'd say. You had several people worried, all the way up to, don't tell me. I'm kind of hanging by a thread right now. The tip of the ear was quizzical. You don't know about me? I know who you are, how you joined the crew. How about the way I was tortured by humans? The shock of on his face was answer enough. How did anyone on the ship not know about... Did you join when we were at Kelser? He nodded. Then just stick to the medical stuff for now. You can ask the doctor and they'll fill you in on the details. The nod was tentative, with a look toward the closed door at the back of the room. The expression had settled back into something professional when the medic looked at him again. Medically, now that you're conscious and your breathing has settled, the rest of your vitals are within the normal for the species according to the system. Does that mean I can go? The medic looked his tablet over, then nodded. Take it easy for the next few days. If you need to take your work shift off, contact us and we'll let your leader know the medical reasons. Yeah, I need a better term than leader. He nodded. He knew better than to say it wouldn't be needed. The medic wouldn't care, and Jeremy had no way to know if he'd have a relapse. When he had an attack this strong, it left him vulnerable to more. Thank you. Are those who express concern outside? Another check of the tablet. No, the hall doesn't have anyone waiting there. Jeremy chuckled. Right, no waiting room. The Kelsirians didn't wait on the injured, or at least not outside as a group. If the injuries were grave, they were allowed in to keep the patient company. Otherwise, they went on with their day, trusting the medics to do their job. He was steady on his feet, so headed out. He put the earpiece in and contacted Alexania Deberan. Jeremy Bradshaw, how are you? I'm good. Leaving medical and heading to my quarters. Just want to let you know I don't expect to miss work. Good. If things change, let me know. Jeremy contacted Turek next, then Perteros, and continued down his friends list, ending with Leah Tegrobar. How are you doing, Jeremy Bradshaw? Are you busy? I could use the psychologist's assistance. Can you come to my office? Yeah, I can manage that. It's been a long time since it hit that hard. Yep, apologies. I did not hit the button properly. And why do you think it had such an impact? He looked at his hands. She suggested I get claws. Not that I do it, but that it was a possibility. Like if I wanted to be like you, it could be done. And do you? No. The part of strength caught him by surprise. She didn't react. I'm okay with being who I am. I don't hate myself because humans did that to me. Can you envision a situation where you'd want to divorce yourself from them in some way? The idea was so ridiculous, he chuckled. Considering they put this thing in my head and I don't hate them enough to want to cut myself off entirely from them, I can't think of what they could do that would. She nodded. How did its resurgence make you feel? It scared me to the point I lost consciousness. I couldn't even get myself to breathe or think through the noise it was throwing at me. And now, is it loud? No, but I know from experience I'll have to be careful how I think for a while. Like now that it's had a taste again, it's just waiting to pounce. Do you want to stop your training with Beta Berlandragino Carotirec Frem? He chuckled. I didn't know she was a beta until the person with the gloves called her that. Didn't she introduce herself? She didn't use the title when she asked that I meet her. It's probably good. I don't know if I've been able to go knowing what was in store. And if she told me she was a beta or a trainer, it would have been enough to work out I was in for more than I could take. So you want to stop training? Yes, but fuck if she isn't right. He looked up from his hands. I said I can't imagine what they'd do to make me hate them so much I'd want to cut myself off. But you can be sure they're thinking about it right now. They? Of course she knew who he meant. She was a mentalist. You know that anything you tell me in this office will not be divulged to anyone else, unless you think it poses a threat to others. She nodded her head. Isn't that how it goes? That anything I tell you is confidential unless you judge it poses a threat to others? That threat would have to injure most of the people on the ship for me to divulge the detail of what you tell me if you don't want it revealed. What if I tell you that I'm planning to kill someone? Thurrock, for example. She chuckled, leaving aside that he's a hunter. I would seek to reason with you, get you to explain to me why, and in the process show that there are better ways. What if you can't convince me? Then I would arrange for you to be watched, for them to be ready to intervene if you were to act. You'd tell the captain. She shook her head. I don't answer to him when it comes to the health of my patient. I have the authority to contact Beta and have their pack act for me. And you would tell them why? I've shown my judgment. I've shown that my judgment when I require assistance is sound. It's happened before? This is a large ship, Jeremy Bradshaw. Conflicts are inevitable, and we, as a species, are combative, so they can escalate. He nodded. Bottom line, he either trusted her or he didn't. His name is Omar Sawan. He was my doctor on Einstein. I thought he was my friend. He's the one who tortured me with that machine. And that concludes chapter 100 of The Captain's Heart. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter will be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read this story, it is available on Ream Story. And if you are looking to support me, listen to these live. It's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube. Links are in the notes, and with that, I shall wish you a good day.